basically know that you found that that mirror room was open to you inside of the crystal, looking very similar to the one you guys used to use when Mordenkainen was around, and it's what he had left each of you, which was a gem that you could actually pump magic into to eventually open it. But it took a hell of a lot of magic to do it, and when you did actually finally do it after about 11 or so months of trying, only one of the other rooms was actually seemed to be active, or one of the other mirrors did, as far as you could see.
In my defense, I always saw it as like I tried for like 5 straight months to do something else, and then I failed at that miserably, and then as soon as I succeeded at that, I started on the gem. And no, it still probably took like 11 months.
Yeah, like, me and Cheesy have been far too busy to be arsing around with it. We probably did it first time. Like, I literally probably went there and I did it.
Well, from your point of view, you left it up in one of the upper rooms in Ravenloft after you'd found that there was no other mirror inside. It was actually up and running when you'd done it.
So I imagine that Jonathan, after his year abroad, found a way to get back to Barovia and a reason to come back to Barovia, which is why he is returning.
You can see on the other side of this mirror what looks to be a quietly, nicely furnished library room of some description, of the one that's open, but that's as much as you know at the moment.
Okay, so I take out a pouch of gold, and I jingle it, and I kind of open it, and I look through it a little bit, and I close it, and I hand it to a young man who has a bow strung around his shoulders and a short sword at his side, and I say, "Okay, Jameson, you remember the agreement, right?"
I do, sir. Yeah, we've got all of that covered.
Okay, good.
And he turns to Rictavio, who obviously can't see that he's smirking slightly as he's looking in his direction. But I think he's definitely aware of what's going on there. But they're both there and with you right now as well. So
I kind of nudge Rictavio and I say, "Listen, it's better to have and not need than need not have."
I know.
You know he's trustworthy, and if anything, he could at least point you in the right direction to help us, because we need you with us on this.
I know, and he's proven himself in the past, so I don't disagree. Although you can definitely tell it's a begrudging coming from him.
Okay,
on that front.
So I kind of have my backpack on my shoulders, and I'm like, I guess we're returning to Barovia. Here we go, and we step through.
Okay. Yes, it looks like a very well-furnished library kind of area. Nice warm hearth going on. A recognisable gem in the centre of the table. And off to one side you see sitting on the top of one of the divans, you see a sort of familiar-looking owl that you've seen in the past.
Jonathan snaps, and a bat. No, a bat appears.
That reminds me. Do I have Majesto?
A bat appears on Jonathan's shoulder, and he says, "I'm glad that Mr. Hoodoo's here, because I totally would have forgotten about you, buddy." But Jonathan has a bat on his shoulder. Yeah, and as he's talking to the bat on his shoulder, he looks at his wrist and he says, "Well, here's hoping this thing still works." And he touches it, which is the symbol of Ayun on his wrist that all of us should have. And he says, "I don't know if this still works, but if anybody's around, I'm back with Rictavio, and I got some news."
MacLeod replies, "New phone, who this? Jonathan?
Mel?
Bard?
The Bard. Shizu doesn't remember Jonathan at all.
You know my name. Yeah.
Jonathan, where are you?
I just stepped through your portal. I think I'm in Ravenloft.
know where he is. You know he's only a level above you. You can go up and...
No, stay there. We'll come up to meet you.
You're coming up. Am I going down or are you coming up?
Both.
We're both.
We'll meet you halfway.
They're already making their way on this one, but yeah, a few moments pass, and two semi-familiar figures start to walk in through the doors.
Jonathan, you look exactly the same.
No, that's being very generous. I look like shit, and I realize it.
You look fine.
And Jonathan actually does look very haggard. He looks.
I'd go over to Jonathan and give him a hug straight away.
Yeah. Now, obviously, he'll hug back. Jonathan is he has his hair pulled back in a tight ponytail because it's just easier. It doesn't look like it's any sort of style. It's just out of the way. He has big bags under his eyes. He hasn't shaved in a while. Like, it's not as kept as he usually. He was a little more on top of his looks because he had to be as a performer. But it seems like that hasn't been a priority for him in the entire year that you've seen him. He's wearing roughly the same kind of clothes that you saw him in. He still has the cloak that MacLeod gave him. His rapier is different, but and also he has a pretty nice backpack. But otherwise, he's almost the exact same.
Josh, do you want to describe yourself?
Well, Chizu pretty much hasn't changed since the time when she got the divine intervention and the Everlight's radiance kind of came down upon her. So she's still got the blonde hair. Armor's changed a little bit over the years. She's bought some better armor.
Did she buy better armor, or did she...
you might recognise said armor from a particular crypt we might be.
It's a very, very ornate bronze armor that she's now engulfed in, and it's got a little bit of iconography of Barovia on it, with some ancient runes on that front and things like that. But it's
she shined out really nice though. It looks really good.
Oh, it buffed up really well.
Yeah.
And Jonathan says as much. She's just wearing the shit out of that armor, and he lets her know it.
Oh, yeah, it saved my life countless times. I should have picked up earlier.
Jonathan saying that. She's like, oh, go on.
No, please, tell me more.
I suppose, Malchior, how have things changed for him?
Malchior's been through a bit of an ordeal, fighting fiends for a year. He's got a large scar down his left eye. He's adorning an eye patch. He walks with a cane now. I decided that's what I'll use it for. And he's got new clothes. And he's got longer hair with white streaks in it now as well. Which is he assumes it's to do with Ioun because he's never been grey.
Hey, just catching up with you, my friend.
Shut up, Shizu.
Jonathan, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, you look distinguished, I guess would be what I would say. How have you been faring here?
We've been doing well. We've pushed back the fiends as much as we can. We've taken back Vallaki, which is the biggest victory we've achieved.
And
that
we
was
got
a stronghold.
Kresk as well.
Yeah,
Kresk has been freed as well in the interim time as well. You've managed to do both of those.
Unfortunately, there's just one place we can't seem to crack, and I think you probably know where that is.
The Amber Temple.
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry. Forgive me. I mean, why did you come back? Not that you're not welcome or anything, but what made you come back?
Yeah. I've been working pretty hard this past year trying to bring my sister back, and I managed to learn a spell that's very hard for me to pull off. I failed a few times, and actually that's why he originally was introduced to me. And he'll point to the young man behind him and say, "This is Jameson. He's working as basically Rictavio's eyes, and there'll be a little bit of help while we're here.
Victorio scoffs slightly at that. Yeah, he smiles anyway on that front.
But through being able to contact other plane, I spoke to an ancient being, an old one, I think. And
It was
great
tough
old one.
times.
yeah, I
think Malky will probably be kind of wincing at this, like, where's this going?
I was told that Strahd originally had prevented my sister's soul from being able to cross over or being able to return to a body, but that's not the case anymore. What I do know is that her soul is intact, but it's in peril, it's in danger. And there's someone here who knows how to get her back. And unfortunately, that person is captured by the demons. And I need to get to whoever this fox person is,
Right.
and find out what he knows. It's the best lead that I've had in a year.
Fox-type
Fox
creature,
person.
yes.
Yeah, fox-type creature, from what I can
Oh.
tell.
Wasn't this in the Amber Temple?
Yeah. Some of you may remember there was something of there being a creature that matches that description in there when when everything went down.
Didn't we see a fox-like creature in that darkness? Well, I certainly did, because I could see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd met a guy. You met a guy in one of the side rooms in the Amber Temple who basically said, "Steer clear of the Arcanoloth," and you did manage to spot it in the darkness in the head of one of the statues. But then
I
you
just
didn't run
relayed
into
that
it
back
later as. Basically,
Jonathan.
the Amber Temple went to hell in a very swift manner after the Pit Fiend arrived.
Jonathan says its name is Nepheron. I know that he, last I saw, was in the custody of a Pit Fiend.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds too familiar.
I mean, if this thing has the knowledge of how my sister can return, maybe it has some sort of value to the devils, and that's why it still breathes, or at least I'm hoping it still breathes. I could find out again, and then Jonathan's eyes get really dark, and he kind of glances over at Rictavio, who can't see, but I'm
I
sure
think he would be
hears
enough
the
to.
tone of
Yeah,
his voice.
he'll be sensing. Not again.
And I'm guessing Jameson kind of just crosses his arms and just waits for whatever
waits for
instructions
orders.
he has.
Yeah.
If I fail, though, it takes a toll. So I don't know if I want to do that just yet, but it's an option.
Okay,
Let's
I
let's
can.
use that as a last resort. I'd say it doesn't seem like the best option.
You want to know if this fox
At least.
creature is in the Amber Temple? Is
I
that
want to
what-
know where it is, and
Well,
and
I
I
can
wanna
ask.
know if
I
it's
can
alive.
ask Ioun with my augury.
that would be amazing. Please.
Yeah, don't break yourself. I'll
So much
I'll say
easier with the
hello. I'll
team.
say hello to Rictavio and sit down and be like, right, give me 10 minutes and I'll do the spell.
Okay.
So
Three questions, isn't it? Basically,
Is this fox-like creature that you're on about in the Amber Temple?
you get a yes.
There we are. Jonathan, Ioun is letting me know that what you're looking for is actually in the Amber Temple.
Jonathan just it's a victory in a sea of defeats that he's had over the past year, and you just see him kind of a weight that he didn't know was on his shoulders just kind of lifted a little bit.
The rolls were so bad.
They're so bad.
I'm so
Um,
glad.
So,
It was not. It was not good.
Jonathan asked,
Any lasting effects? That's what I want to see.
James, any I don't know about?
No, it's just you've been a bit
Okay.
more twitchy, haven't you, with time after failing so many times.
I mean,
but-
he has this this lethargy about him, this tiredness, he's just spent, but he's just the only thing keeping him going is trying to get his sister back. He knows that he has to do that. So he hears that and he perks up. And
We are planning an attack.
Yeah, we plan to clear the devils out of there.
So I mean, your timing is just seems too perfect.
you do have a direct line to the divine, so
I
who
may
knows
be.
who's pulling the strings. By the way, tell her I said hi next time you talk to her.
It's not. It. Okay. I will. And I ask her if this person is still alive in the Amber Temple.
And the answer is again a positive yes.
There we are. She said hi back, and yes.
Okay, good. By the way, while we're doing this, I imagine that my bat has flown over to Mr. Hoot Hoot and just kind of like crawling towards it and sniffing it and kind of checking it out.
I can't-
Jon-
how does Mr. Hoot react to a bat? Yeah,
Mr. Hoot Hoot's seen some shit. It's not fake.
he has seen some. Yeah, in the last year he's seen some.
I mean, he's died a lot.
So many times.
And Jonathan will kind of like laugh at that and he'll say, by the way, guys, meet Strahd. Yeah, I got a kick out of it too.
It's good. It's a good one.
But he kind of motions him back, and Strahd flies over to his shoulder, and kind of crawls over to the other side. And I scratch it underneath his chin, and be like, "Yeah, basically my Mr. Hoot Hoot, but with blind sense. So if we ever get,
or, as I like to call him, the lead villain of the next campaign."
Yeah. What we don't know is that Jonathan's made a pact with Strahd's
What's
soul.
left of Strahd? Yeah,
you don't know what's
slowly
been
winning,
happening over the past
I
year with
wouldn't be
him.
surprised.
I
The
can't wait
roles
for
have been
that
that bad.
episode.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
So you said that you're planning an attack. Well, what's happening at the Emperor Temple that you need to attack?
Well,
That's the last
that's where
place
the remaining forces are.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's the last bastion of them in the area. It's at this point in the proceedings that what's familiar to Shizu and Malchior is the low rumble of the ground once again. To Jonathan, it feels like a small tremor going on, and some of the books start to rattle on some of the shelves.
I imagine that Jameson has reached over to steady Rictavio, but Jonathan would reach over to do the same thing as well.
Yeah, and after about 30 seconds or so, with a few books falling off the shelves, the tremors subside, and you're back to normal once again.
I'll start picking the books up and putting them back. I was like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
this is a very
that's-
practiced
She's
thing
really
at this
helpful with
point.
that.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't even realize that it was happening, sort of thing. You know, just sort of
We really should
subconsciously
have
doing it.
put up little ratings to the books by this point, you know.
Yeah, no, but we spent so much money on this place already. I don't really want to.
I
Go.
mean, it wouldn't cost too much more.
Hey! Clue the newcomer in. What just happened?
Oh right, yeah. This rumbling's been coming from the Amber Temple for a good while. Well, that's where we
about
think it's
6
coming
months
from anyway.
now. It's slowly been getting
It's one of
worse.
the one of the reasons I contacted Shizu.
Yeah.
To see if she could come and assist, trying to speed things along. But it's one of the big reasons why we want to go and attack it as well. There's something obviously pretty
Something
terrible
going on.
going to happen.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, you've had Shizu has had a spy inside of the Amber Temple that managed to get in at least once, who's managed to fill you in a tiny bit. They are constructing something on the inside of the temple. It looks there's something that some of them have been calling the siphon or something along those lines. Is the name that the little guy overheard.
Hmm.
And they've also completely refitted the sewers. It's disgusting what they've done with it.
Yeah, I mean it's not the best of places anymore down there on that front.
Oh, wow, is that even possible? Sorry, I was rolling my hit points for my bat, and I got a 0. Does that mean that it just doesn't
it's a minimum
exist?
one. Yes, a minimum one.
No, he has exactly the one. Yes.
Okay, holy crap. All right, sorry. I didn't know what to expect from that. Okay, anyway, so Jonathan says, well, if we're going to the same place, hopefully to do some of the same stuff, I mean, I'm here, so when were you thinking of doing this?
Have we got sort of a war room going on?
She's just going to exit the room, then run back in, saying something's happened at the temple.
You've got to say, General Malchior, something's happened at the temple.
I'm not calling you General Malchior. I'm sorry.
You've got to call me General. We've been through this so many times, Shizu.
And she's never said it once.
Do I get a ranking too? I want a ranking.
Sure. I don't know rankings.
You can be. No, not captain.
Oh no, you're captain. Sorry, Shizu's captain. You can be lieutenant.
I mean, that's not private, so yeah, sure.
I mean, you're pretty good, Jonathan.
I'm one of the heroes of Vallaki. I think I Lieutenant Bravo sounds pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Lieutenant Bravo, hero of Vallaki. There you go.
Let's go discuss this with the men.
Obscure references aside.
Yeah.
I feel like we should discuss it with the men.
I was just say Jonathan puts out his arm in a very practiced motion, and Rictavio takes his elbow and leads him along.
I thought Rictavio was going to be able to pseudo see with this sword.
He can.
Well, he can, but at the same time.
It's just like
he gets mollycoddled a bit by the looks of things.
Oh, is that why he scoffed at it a bit?
Yeah. No, he doesn't feel he needs as much as he gets in some ways.
Jonathan's doting on him. He hasn't had a grandfather before. Or at least he did, but he hasn't since he was 8. So.
Yeah. No,
he looks after Rictavio.
Again, bad times of an earlier description. Yes.
Whether Rictavio wants it or not, Jonathan tries to take care of him.
Yeah, and he accepts anyway. It's not a problem. But yeah, you guys go down to one of the lower rooms in Ravenloft, and it's been made into a sort of a makeshift war room, and you do have a few of the guys that you've been using as the captains of the groups that have been been involved in some of the attacks.
Yeah, Jonathan, this is Tom, Dick, and Harry. Our 3 captains. Tom here is the captain of the Mountain Division. I kind of trained him up myself, but not to brag.
It's Harrison, not Harry.
Thomas, Richard, Harrison. Very nice to meet you. I'm Jonathan, E. Bravo, Johnny. To my friends.
They've basically been pushing them back further and further, and it's now at the point where the only place that was taken over is the Amber Temple itself and parts of the Selenka Pass, which is up in the mountains where you met the Pixies and the barbarians and things. You found your mandolin up there and things like that. So
which Jonathan does not have on him, by the way.
Oh, great. Captains, how soon can we march on the temple? We have young Jonathan E. Bravo here. Mm-hmm. He'll be a great aid. He's one of the original heroes of Vallaki.
I was under the impression that Malchior and I were the same age. Are we not the same age?
I don't know. I just said it anyway.
Now he's got his distinguished look. He's starting to look down on it.
I'm 25.
As fuck.
He's the Count of Ravenloft now, so it's
that's fine.
But not a vampire, don't worry. Not yet.
Although looking very pale. No. But they basically say 3 days the men can be ready on that front that are left. And,
okay, what about the werewolves? Oh.
The werewolves, there are.
Jonathan goes up at this a lot.
The werewolves. Oh.
Yeah, what? What werewolves?
Shizu? Were ravens. You misheard.
Yeah. You misheard that. It was
roll a deception, sir.
Me? You want me to roll a deception?
You're the one who's trying to lie to me. Unless you don't want to
assistance.
Really lie to me.
With assistance.
Oh, 19.
Insight that.
First rule of the game is to lie to your friend.
I just want to see if I can.
Real nice. Yeah, you probably can.
No, I will explain now.
Yeah, I still want to see if I could. I probably can't. Nope.
Oh.
Now, don't really lie to me though.
Right. We've been talking to the the werewolves since you've been gone. I know you don't have a good standing with people of that persuasion.
You mean lycanthropes that rend asunder innocent troops of performers? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I have a little bit of beef.
I mean, come on, that's typecasting people. There's much bigger things going on here. We've been cooperating and working together. They've been a great aid, as much as the Were-Ravens have.
Yeah. They've
Yeah,
helped
they
so
have.
much.
They have done fair.
Taken back
They have
most
done a
of
fair
that.
bit.
We're in this together. We're taking back Barovia. That's what we're doing.
Fine. If you know what, if it helps,
It won't be a problem.
It helps the land and it helps get Marianne back, then fine.
Yeah, they're not bad people.
It's actually at this point in time that walking into that room is a large, dark-skinned fellow that you have met before when your last times working in the Amber. Last times you were here in Ravenloft, and it's Emil comes to join you guys and say,
Did we leave him in the cell?
No, you did let him out, and
you brought him out, yeah.
I can't remember.
Actually, I think I might have healed him back to life.
You did bring him. You did
I
bring him
think I
back
saved
around.
his life. Yeah. So Jonathan sees Emil, and he'll walk over to him and extend a hand. He'll say, "Glad you've survived so long."
I have done well, thank you, and yes, I've been working with these two and the rest of the men to bring the so-called werewolves into this fray, and
is he leading?
Yeah, he is now the official leader of that pack.
Emil is dealing with the lycanthropes, Jonathan, because he is a lycanthrope.
And Jonathan kind of stops in mid-handshake with him, and he turns back to him, and like the very first version of Jonathan that Emil met is now the Jonathan that he's looking at again. Because Jonathan was not in a good place when he met him the first time. Pretty sure he threatened to kill him.
Yeah, it was a rough time then as well, yes.
So Jonathan kind of looks at him, and he'll release the grip and kind of step back a little bit, and he'll rub his hand and look down. He'll say, "So, your lot have been helping Shizu, and are you the Count of Ravenloft?"
Yeah.
That's
he is
really impressive.
Who else would take the title?
I was the only one. I'm here to help Barovia. That's why I'm charged with this.
But
we do the same.
Jonathan will kind of think for a minute, but he'll nod. I'll say, all right.
Emil's a good man, Jonathan. You can trust him.
All right, I might want to have a talk with you later, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
All right, so Jonathan will step back over. How does Rictavio take that?
Yeah, he's wary, but if he does let on, it's very, very subtle. I think, especially without having when you've got a bandage over your eyes, it's less easy on that one. He takes it in his stride on that one. He's seen all manner and seen everything, and on that front, so he's not overly concerned on that front. You guys can start making your plans for what way you want to try and hit the Amber Temple. Really, you know it's buried under a vast amount of snow now. So finding your way in won't be as easy.
Can we get to Slanker Pass through the teleportation, just not back?
Unfortunately, no, because you guys, when you found that one, you guys took that one out as well. So
shitbags.
Yeah, the teleporter that you've actually got here in Ravenloft is unfortunately not as useful as it could have been, because some of the locations are actually down.
I've actually learned how to use the teleporter, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Really?
we've put that one
Playing around
back
with it.
now, so it's all fine. We can use it again.
If we would have just walked in and used it, would it have worked? Because I was always curious about that.
Yeah, no, if you've left from this end, you can revert back. It is plausible.
I knew it. Sorry.
But yeah, there's only a couple of locations left now on that front.
We need to get there as quick as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you've got one option, which is the one Jonathan's sister came through in Kresk. You know that one still exists, and that would get you a good portion of the way towards the Amber Temple.
Take half the time off.
It would half the time, yeah. But obviously, then you're leaving from Kresk.
We could take my airship.
Yeah,
you
could.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what Conrad was going to do.
Wrong storyline.
That's not nice, man. I got really excited.
5 years. After the 5 years, maybe.
Jonathan will say, whatever happened to the abbot? Could he be of any help?
He's back in Kresk. He's taken back over Kresk.
Yep.
Good for him. I'm glad my pep talk worked.
Yeah, he's really helped a lot.
Oh, I would like
to.
hopefully
Especially dealing with the
visit him a little
undead. There, he's a big kid. He's very reserved and keeps to himself and out of the way of things. But when you've had to call upon him, he has actually stepped up and helped get things done to try and atone for some of the things he's done. You've also made sure he's curbed any experiments that he might be interested in.
I tell you what we probably should do. I mean, the captains are there, right?
Yeah. So yep. Tom, Dick, and Harrison are there.
What we could do is if we teleport to Kresk, and you guys mount an assault. See my little inverted commas. So you amass the troops, make it look like we're going to make this big march, and then a small crack team.
One location. Yeah.
Yeah. A small crack team, which would be myself, Jonathan, Shizu. And others who
Octavio, Jameson.
Right.
To be named.
Whoever James is say it's going to come. Yep. A small crack team, but we'll penetrate from Kresk, and then you get your chance to, say whatever you need to the abbot, and we'll get on our way. How about that?
I mean,
I didn't become the count and general for nothing.
I have I have one question. We're a small crack team. We're very capable. I mean, ask Strahd. Oh, wait, you can't. He's dead because of us. But what's
no, he's sitting on your shoulder.
Well, this Strahd, yeah. But what are we doing once we're at the Amber Temple? Is there a goal there other than just going? I mean, I'm all for getting answers and finding Nephron, but I don't want it to be a suicide mission, especially not for anyone else.
Please, it's us. It would never be a suicide mission.
Yeah, we don't really know what's there. We just know that something...
Yeah, something is being built, and like I said,
your
spies said it was called the Siphon, and the rumbling from the temple has been getting worse and worse. So the earthquakes are getting more extensive. So
we know we can get in.
Trying something.
That's the big thing. If a group of spies can get in, we'll follow the same path they did. Go in from the side entrance. I assume that's what they did. I don't know.
Yes, Shizu. How did he enter the Amber Temple? Do you reckon?
Through the side entrance, and then kind of kept high and out of sight as much as he could. But then, if he did get spotted, then he'd try and blend in, I guess. Yeah,
he did have a few close calls from what you heard, but he made it in and out without too much issue on that front. But you're right. The side entrance was the way he actually made it back in. That one was less dug in with snow and was easier on that front. It looked like the area had been disturbed before he had got there, from what he said. But he did manage to find his way in that way.
If you're interested, I may be able to learn a little bit more about the Amber Temple. Could give us some sort of strategic advantage. And Jonathan probably sees the worry on Rictavio's face.
Yeah, he's starting to
you'd see the worry on his face as well.
And he'll reach out. He'll say, "No, not that way. I have a different spell." actually, that I haven't been able to try yet. It's a little pricey, but I'm sure that the new Count of Ravenloft would be able to help me out with some materials.
Oh, please, money is no object for him.
Shizu, shut up!
What I would need is
land expenses, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, if
taxes and everything.
Yeah.
I got constant income. I am probably fucking loaded.
Well, if it's something
there you go then.
If it's something that you could provide, what I would need is 4 ivory strips worth 50 gold each, and about 250 gold worth of incense.
Oh yeah, man, I got all that shit. Right, James?
Oh yeah, it's just tucked away in the drawer somewhere.
There's plenty of that sort of stuff in Ravenloft.
I got a Scrooge McDuck treasure vault.
Oh,
so.
I mean, if I can do this whenever you want. So,
what is it?
It's a spell called Legend Lore. What I do is, if I can think of a place or a person or an object that has some sort of historical significance, I can use the spell to basically pull esoteric or long forgotten details about the focus of the spell and learn more about it. The more I know about a location, the more specific the information is. The fact that I've actually been to the Ember Temple is a very good sign. This could be a boon. It really could.
Yeah, cool. Right, well, follow me, I guess.
Any drawbacks?
So I want to word with Jonathan quickly on our own. That's all. The treasure vault's just this way. Shizu, can you?
You wander on down to the to one of the dining rooms downstairs. What Jonathan would remember being a room that was gaudy and covered in bone, and where you saw the skull of the dragon originally been
that thing.
has been vastly cleared out. The skull is still there, but the room is no longer as disturbing as it once was. It's more a simpler layout, but quite reasonable dining from what you can see.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure we've been meaning to put the skull back at some point.
Oh yeah, that was I forgot about that. But we would have probably. We said we were going to do that right before we went off to the other campaign, didn't we?
We were going to do that, yeah. So
but I mean, Target Vostok would be pretty tough, though, wouldn't it? That's where the demons are coming from. So we got our reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Near the bottom.
Before I leave Rictavio, I kind of give a knowing look to Jameson, and Jameson kind of steps close to Rictavio, and he'll also take Strahd off his shoulder, and he'll kind of let him fly in the air, and he'll fly around a little bit, and then he'll land actually on Rictavio's shoulder.
Yeah, this is again something he's used to.
Yeah, and then I'll go wherever with Malchior.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everyone else is starting to make their way towards the dining room and finding the items that you need. There's servants here now. There's who would be your head one of your head servants, Malchior?
Well, my head servant is Shizu, obviously.
Apart from Shizu, yes.
Please,
Captain Servant Shizu. I don't know. Someone I trust. Who would be a servant? That we know.
I think
just
be
people that
you can just create
people. One. His name will be Muntz, which is Muntz.
Muntz. So he's an older gentleman that you hired. Yeah, your head chamberlain. Will start taking these other guys off to one side.
Following you with like a tray of tea.
Yeah.
Every time you try to shoot him, he puts the tray up.
Another tea, Shizu?
Oh, Muntz, could you go and see to our guests, please?
Of course. Would you Earl Grey as well, sir?
Yes, if you could just keep it warm for me on the table, that would be fantastic.
One slice of lemon, I remember. And he starts to wander off and starts to do his part of the parts of it.
I know, right? I'm fucking camped.
That's awesome.
This is like a conversation me and Jonathan are having.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm like, I've been singing for my dinner and my bread. Like, everything kept the exact same for me, pretty much. But you went up in the world, buddy.
I was the only one who willing to stay.
Yeah. About that, I'm sorry that I left. I didn't know that it would be this dire, man. But I had. I mean, Sigil had so many answers.
It's only a holy war. Don't worry.
I understand. Like, I mean, it was probably your sister dying. It's good, and then asked to choose so soon. I can't imagine.
I mean, it was just a place of answers. Mordenkainen. I mean, it just made sense to go there, and I honestly didn't think it would take this long. I thought I could do what I needed to do, learn what I needed to learn, and come back. And maybe that's hubris on my part.
No. Well, you're here now. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, although you did have some interesting adventures in the planar city as well. You did meet a fair few characters and bits and bobs, which we'll come to at another unforeseen date.
Yeah, we didn't focus on those, but yes.
I want to ask you something.
Shoot, yeah.
When you're talking to this old one,
yeah,
you didn't make any deals, right?
That's not the way the spell works.
If you talked to an old one, I mean, come on, man. How do you think I got my powers?
It's the potential risk of the spell, I believe, is the payment.
They didn't take this old one didn't take too much interest in you. They didn't offer you powers in return for anything.
I don't know if they could have.
I think
it's not much. It's not well. The spell's not much for conversation. They don't really ask or speak to me.
Take it from me. If they are aware of you, they can offer you something.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll an Arcana check, Jamie, just to see if you understand the spell what the idea of the spell is, which you broke up when I asked you for that.
Some wizard shit.
Yeah, just wizard stuff.
No, I can learn it as well.
The nature of the spell is I can ask 5 questions, and they can give me short answers, sometimes images.
Okay. I thought you'd bard locked yourself.
No, I didn't ask for power. All I asked was about my sister and information to help her.
Okay.
The thing is that the reason why the spell maybe is dangerous to some, and apparently to me, I can only cast it successfully once. My capabilities aren't. They don't go in that direction very well. I'm still learning.
That's fine. And I put my hand on Jonathan's shoulder and I just say, I just didn't want to see you go down the same road I did.
Jonathan shakes his head. No, that's not what was happening.
And I tap him on the shoulder and go, great, let's go get you some fucking loads of treasure. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go and join the rest of them on that one, and you make your way down to the dining room, and Muntz is bringing the items out that you
Jonathan 100 platinum.
What?
I don't want you singing. I don't want you singing for your coin anymore.
This is more gold than
I imagine in my character sheet or my currencies. I imagine they're all 9999, like in all RPGs. Like that's the most I can go to.
They're very, very high right now on that front. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, how much did you give me?
100 platinum.
Wow. Okay. Jonathan, he's floored, but he accepts it graciously, and he.
Jonathan, this is all our treasure. This is what we done this together.
I just.
You can't be singing for coin when you rescued.
It's all I've ever known, and I didn't do it for. I mean, I'm taking the money. Thank you. Hey, but don't get me wrong, I didn't do it for the money.
I haven't given Shizu 100 platinum.
Jonathan laughs at that. He kind of nails down and he takes off his backpack. And you see him and he's in the middle of talking to you. He reaches into the right pouch and he doesn't even look, but he pulls out a money pouch. And he'll take the platinum and he'll kind of tie it off with that, and then he'll put it back in his backpack, and then he'll throw the backpack back on. Thank you. That's
There's no
I mean,
there's no thanks needed, John. You deserve it. It's not.
I'm gonna keep saying thank you because I don't know what else to say. This is.
Let's just go kill some fiends, okay? Try not to die.
Yeah.
Because then otherwise, what the fuck is the point?
Okay then. So then we keep walking, I guess.
Yep, and you do make your way to the dining room, and you do join the rest of them down there, and you are able to literally get the items that you were after. So what's it you needed for the spell that you were needed over it? Some ivory strips and
4 strips of ivory that are worth 50 gold at least, and I need 250 gold worth of incense, which is consumed by the spell. So the ivory is not. But
we'd have loads of incense for Find Familiar.
Yeah, there's plenty of that sort of thing around inside of Ravenloft. So by the time you get down there, Muntz has already, being the well-trained guy that he is, has already got all those items prepared and brought forward, and he's literally holding them on a silver tray as you guys enter the dining room. And
please, it's a platinum tray.
We're not that flesh, Shizu. Jesus.
Well, I mean, we can have silver now. It's not illegal.
You can, but there's not a lot of silver in
it's actually an electrum plate. We melt it down because didn't all the electrum have Strahd's face on it or something?
Yeah, every coin with that you saw was electrum. Yeah.
Oh, actually, Jonathan kind of when you'd say that, he goes, "Oh, speaking of," and he pulls out 22 electrum pieces from his backpack again without even really looking, and he holds them out, and it's still the currency with Strahd's face on it.
Yeah, still Strahd's face on it. Yeah, and the new mint, sir. It's almost ready on that front. But
where is this mint located, James?
I'll bet you any money that the blacksmith that was Roscoe's best friend in Blackie could totally mint that.
Yeah. He's probably in like.
Whoa! He's the official blacksmith now.
Yeah, there's probably like a smithery like down underneath Barovia. I think that's kind of where.
I'm just saying, like he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as actual location of people, Ravenloft itself is now obviously open to people. Vallaki is back, but there's not many people that are actually staying there. The village near Ravenloft is the best bet for most things at this point. It's the only sort of thriving.
That's why we have so much money.
That's going on. Yeah,
there's no wealth being distributed amongst the land yet. It's just all basically coming to me.
There's a bit of that, but the trade has started to open up a little bit. Once you got the worst of it. Now you're actually on the material plane. Things are a little easier on that front. And you guys would know that you're actually in near the starting area that you guys began in. It's actually Barovia turns out to be now on an island, literally in one of the seas in the Ice Isles. So
oh wow, okay.
It's its own little area now, but it's literally surrounded by sea on most sides. So there's a little port starting to be made to get in and out.
Guess what MacLeod's next 4 years is going to be? Setting up trade routes and all that crap.
Yeah, he's going to need help on some of those.
Someone
fronts.
Please invite him on an adventure.
It's going to just be admin for 4 years. That's it.
Admin for 4 more years.
So Jonathan, he gets everything ready. He goes, okay, I've never done this before because it's been a little too pricey for me to attempt it, but I am very excited to try. So he kind of rubs his hand together and he places the 4 ivory strips to create a diamond, and then he puts the incense in the center, and it's in the shape of an eye, not an Ioun eye, but it looks very similar to that. And he'll kind of sit down and he'll concentrate for 10 minutes. And I'm guessing nobody interrupts me about that, right?
Yeah, no. Just Muntz.
Yeah, okay.
Muntz brings over the teas, the Earl Grey, etc., and a cognac, so as well, or a little.
No, I don't think right now because we might be invading some Amber Temple now, and we don't want to be going there a bit tipsy now, do we, Muntz?
No, of course not, sir. I understand.
And
but,
so
you will be wanting your war garments then soon, sir. I assume?
Yes, please. Yes, the what's it called? the breastplates or whatever. He knows what I mean.
I do indeed. So yeah, I will get the guys to work on the polishing, and he wanders off. Yeah, but so yeah, all this goes on whilst this has been going on.
So Jonathan, sorry, my cat is being super just invasive.
Super needy right now.
Yeah. Jonathan gets the spell ready, and he kind of like nods and he goes, "Okay, I think we're good to go." And he reaches over to his backpack and he opens up the center part, and he reaches in and he pulls out his mandolin.
Right, okay. I see where your mandolin is now.
And he kind of sets it up, and he says, I mean, I wasn't poor when I was gone. I just, wasn't super rich like you. And so he tunes it a little bit, and then he just goes, chicka-ching, and then whispers the words, "The Ember Temple." And then the incense in the center flames up green, and then kind of smolders down, and the scent of it wakes into his face, and his eyes go completely white.
You know that there was a bunch of good wizards that originally created the temple, but it was to house or store evil knowledge, basically, that had been amassed. It was basically filled with forbidden knowledge that wizards weren't supposed to use. But of course, that started to seep out through the cracks with time. It was only when later on that an archmage made his way there that the Amber Temple became far more than it was originally, but his name was Xantha, and he basically got rid of the original wards and spoke to the original vestiges that are actually stuck in the amber, which you know about, that there are these different amber sarcophagi in the temple, and each one can offer different gifts.
That's what we saw happen to
MacLeod's going to have a different 4 years now.
So what's his nuts?
Yes, he went straight for a very particular one in there, and to try and help his
guy that stole my hat.
Yes, the hat you stole in the original. Yes, that hat.
I deserve to steal that hat. He didn't deserve to steal my hat.
You know that there's dark knowledge in there. They will offer you any gift you like to try and get a hold of part of you to try and get into the material world again.
I'm looking for entrances, exits, forgotten passageways, maybe within the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a way to better navigation of the temple, and maybe where traps are located, stuff like that. It's all like geographical intelligence, pretty much, like outside and within the temple.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you can definitely get a lay of the land on that front. You actually would agree with Shizu's idea, which is that the side entrance still seems to be like the best way in. There are two ways in. There is the front door entrance, which is buried somewhere as well, or this side entrance that seems to have been used in the past as well. You know that much. As for secret doors, I'll make sure that I point them out as you, as and when you're actually down inside of the temple. But yeah, you know where most of those are on that front. No worries about that.
All magical weapons. Yes.
You learn forgotten lore as well, don't you? So you actually would also know there are locked rooms on the lower floors which hold some of the amber statues, and the only way to breach them, as MacLeod once did, was to know the name, one of the names to get in on that front. So yeah, you're aware of those names that you need to unlock some of those as well.
I know the names.
Yes,
nice.
yeah. If it's
Jonathan
secret lore, that would have been been hidden away. So yes.
Would Jonathan say that to everybody, or would he keep it to? He would tell everybody. Yeah. So he won't tell the names, but everything that you've said to me, like he tells to everybody. He has no reason to keep to himself.
Okay.
Did you find out any of the names?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that'll be good to know when the time
What do
comes.
these names do? Open up the different...
Yeah, there are certain
Ambers.
warded rooms that if they haven't been broken into and destroyed, which they might not be because they're magically warded, those rooms will be accessible by knowing those names. So yes, well worth spending the time to actually go for it on that front.
Yeah.
You took my only 4 ivory strips. I hope they were of use.
I mean, you
you've
tell
got
me.
lots of those things.
I mean, I just assumed I had a big chunk of ivory, and I just got one of like a cheese
Well,
grater.
the room you're actually in now was full of bone originally.
There we are. See?
So it probably just came off one of the chairs that used to be.
That's
in
the
here.
real reason we haven't given the skull back. We're just kind of scraping chunks.
Yeah, every now and then we just sort of potato peeling a bit of ivory.
From now on, this room
Dragon
shall be
ivory.
declared the elephant's graveyard.
Yeah.
The quality elephant graveyard.
Yeah, but so Jonathan kind of comes back to himself, and I'm assuming that like everything James has said has been spoken through Jonathan's mouth, when like kind of like a weird like monotone.
Yeah, you're in theory you're going to set the werewolves and everybody else on the mountains near the Amber Temple in 2 days' time. Does that sound about right? To actually
To make it look like they're going to amass an attack to get the attention off us, basically.
Yep. No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. So maybe you spend the night here before heading in. I mean, from Jonathan's perspective, this place is a very different affair now. In that, it's tidy, it's cleaned, it looks lived in now, and there are people. It's got some bustle to it now on that front. Vastly different to the quiet, dead place that you saw last time you were here on that front.
It's pretty.
There's also lots of the captains doing war room shit.
Oh yeah. There's certainly got a bit of the war thing on the lower level. Yeah. You do set out the next day.
By the way, everyone gets 10 temporary hit points.
Oh, all right.
Whenever we short rest.
You do actually make it down to the fireplace. You place the right crystal in, the right gem into the fire. It changes colour. And
I'm like, this is what you do, Jonathan. It was really simple. I don't know what Roscoe was.
But both of the stone golems on each side come to life, and the timer above your head is going. Melchior figured out that if anyone had done any damage to this thing, the 2 stone statues would have killed them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Pretty instantly.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to be doing that.
You don't want to be doing that.
Didn't.
But you literally jump through and make your way to Kresk on that front, and you appear on the upper floor of Kresk. You may or may not remember it, but it was where you guys had you kind of had an impromptu meeting on how you were going to fleece the abbot last time.
Did Jonathan sneak off or something? That wasn't that.
You were all on the upper floor of the.
Before Bingo's whole thing.
I'll turn into an ape.
Before the ape incident, yes, on that front.
The great ape escapade.
But yeah, you're able to walk down the stairs into the main dining room of Kresk again that you remember from last time. The large gold sun symbol is still on the wall.
What was the abbot's
last
name?
time. He's only ever called himself the abbot.
Yeah, I would have thought that like by now we'd have a name for him.
His name is just Stephen.
Stephen, yeah. Stephen Abbott. What do you know? It was his last name.
I see. And he went into the profession of being an abbot as well, just to make things simple.
Ran in the family. But he's actually down there. Yeah, the young looking in his abbot form rather than the winged form that you've seen him in other times. But obviously this is fairly routine for Malchior, and Shizu may have come here once or twice now. But you've seen the abbot here a few times since you took Kresk back, which I think would have been about 3 or 4 months ago that you actually took the place back. He treats you kindly.
Stephen. How is it? How's it going? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, Stephen's the abbot's name. Anyway, we've got some news for you, and I'll just tell him all what's going on and what's happening. Introduce him to Jonathan again. Like you probably remember Jonathan.
He has.
I'm assuming I rolled the natural 20, so.
He does recognize you, and because the young man that wanted me to help with his sister. Yes, I do recall, and so you fill him in on what's going on and what info you have on this siphon thing and things like that, and he says that obviously the news is getting worse from here. That they're actually getting close to their goal, whatever this thing is to do.
That's why we need to go and sort them out.
He says I'm assuming that it's to do with trying to reopen the portal between the realms again. Obviously,
something called the siphon.
Yeah, he says that'll need powering of some description. He can only think of one thing that you could use to do that sort of thing, and that would literally be the souls of the dead to actually try and open a portal of that description.
Great.
Jonathan perks up at that a lot. He'll say, "Where do you think they would house the souls that they're using to power this plan of theirs?"
Your sister. I didn't even put that together then.
He says he's not sure what mechanism that it would be, but whatever they're doing to try and open this portal would need a hell of a lot of life essence or energy to pull off. It has to be close by to wherever they're doing the work in the Amber Temple. And he suggests it gets destroyed, and so they can't continue.
Can you help? I know you've done a lot, but
he says he can help. He thinks probably helping with the distraction would probably be a better choice.
The thing is, Jonathan, the abbot Stephen, he's become a bit of a beacon of hope towards these fiends. So if they see him on the hills as well, then it's going to create a bigger disturbance.
Yeah.
Jonathan kind of looks and he'll nod and he'll say, that makes sense. I mean,
I'm such a general count. Look at me. I'm
So then you're doing what I asked of you. You're being a beacon for the Morning Lord.
I'm trying to repent, yes. I'm trying to help where I can. I obviously, now that I'm out from under his influence, I can see where he was corrupting me. And yes, I have a long way to go, but rather than being where I was, I'm now helping the less fortunate here in any way I can. But I believe one of them might be able to help you. He seems strong. He seems to at least know some of your names, or I believe one of your friends. Was it the fighter cleric dwarf guy? What was his name? Rinsko. Yes, that's it. Yeah, he said in one of his more lucid moments, he said he had fought him. But he seems strong and hearty, if not completely fully with it. But he may be able to help you.
Fort Roscoe.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
I mean, Roscoe fought a lot of people.
You know somebody
Yeah, I mean,
that
that doesn't narrow down much.
somebody here
But someone that
fought
fought Roscoe and survived.
Yeah, well,
and
he's
survive.
staying. He's in the. He's staying basically in one of the rooms in the infirmary over the other side. You know, there's the other wing to where in the actual abbey, and he says, "Please come with me, come." And he
before he does, Jonathan says, "I don't know if you ever knew about this, but he walks over to the sun symbol, and he taps it, and he says, "You know, there's a hidden compartment behind here."
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah,
That's where I used to keep my necklace that someone stole.
he said,
Wait, there's
"Yes,
no necklace there."
I am aware that you guys have that
Inside,
item."
he's,
Yeah,
he's internally speaking to himself like,
okay. Well,
It was
I would
you!
I would just like to apologize and hopefully know that our need was great at the time,
and
that
I was
didn't-
under the influence of something I shouldn't have been. So
and
yes,
I
we're
didn't
in a
take
different
that
place.
potion from you like I should have, but I didn't.
Ow.
So-
and,
but
it,
yeah.
and it grated on you ever since.
My one regret in the entire campaign was I didn't take the potion. He says, "All right, just making sure. I just want to make sure you knew that you're in your right mind in case you didn't."
Yeah. No. He says it's one of the things that helped bring round the man I'm about to, I think, reintroduce you to. But
Okay, great.
he literally takes you over to the infirmary and into one of the quiet rooms on that side of the building. And Lewis, would you like to describe what they find in that room? I guess.
Is it Roscoe?
yeah, he's beating
the
Roscoe in the
2014.
corner.
So what they hear as they approach the room is the pitter-pattering of footsteps going back and forth, pacing in his solitude. Occasionally they just hear mumbling like and clang, clang as he hits his axe against his helmet. Do they enter the room?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Let's just go.
Cautiously push the door open and like peer in.
Jonathan just raised an eyebrow to the abbot.
I said
I thought the abbot was going into the room.
He's well-meaning, and yeah, he does open the door and sort of start to lead whoever is willing to go in.
I'll go in
Chief
first.
Sullivan.
Jonathan goes in as well.
Oh, this guy.
For the Blood Bowl.
And can you describe what they see, or on that front?
Oh, they see a towering Goliath just in like
The-
patchwork armor.
That's what just threw me. You said the pitter patter of feet. It's like the pitter patter of
I
Goliath.
thought it was one of the mongrel people.
Well, I'm
Yeah, that
not
would
wearing
be
any.
amazing.
I'm not wearing any shoes, so I figured it wouldn't be like clank clank.
Clank,
As I'm still pacing, but I'm like, I've noticed you. I'm like staring at you, and all you see is almost a black void behind the visor of my helmet.
Yeah, so he's a
What?
fully armored up Goliath in front of you on that.
with no shoes.
Oh, you're the
turned
guy
to-
with the goat. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I turned to
you.
Steve and I go, "Are you sure
Oh,
this guy can help us? He seems a bit."
I
Um,
have looked into the heart of darkness, and I hate it all.
You see what I mean? I mean, come on, Stephen.
But I think he's not fully with us. I'll give you that, but I think look at him. He's obviously fairly powerful. I think he can be of use.
What's his name? Oh, do we know his name?
Yeah, does he
No,
actually?
Jamie, go name him. Quick.
No, because I'll crash.
Jonathan will Jonathan, his bard instincts are kicking in, and so he'll step forward and he'll say, "We remember you. We met you before the fall of Strahd. You actually had a knockdown drag out with one of our friends. It was a good
Your
fight."
talk makes me vomit. I've looked into your soul and I ate it all. I ate it all. I saw the spines. I untangled them. The devils, the demons, the heck.
I mean, he doesn't like devils and demons, so that's a good start.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
if-
yes.
We could possibly point him in the direction of something we want dead, and he'll make it happen.
Yeah, like what's his name? Did we decide?
No,
The
he's
conductor of the slaughter train.
I walk gingerly up to
Slaughter
him
train.
and I say, "Would you like to fight some fiends?"
Shh.
Quiet fiends? I mean, I don't know.
Quiet.
Malkin doesn't jump at it or anything. He just sort of leans back slightly and goes, "I think that could be a yes."
Jonathan did jump.
Oh, it's absolutely yes.
You can't stop what I've become. Now let's go! Sally forth!
And I just cast silence on him. And then,
Constantly, yeah. It's just like
Not a bad idea. Then.
He's just standing still, he's just screaming to himself.
these guys, Roscoe's just driven him fucking insane by beating him.
yeah,
Man,
it was the first. It was the first thing. You know, it was a downward spiral after that.
You lose one
It's
fight,
actually a
and
really
it's the
sad
straw
story.
that
He got,
breaks
like,
the
bullied by the
camel's
rest of them.
back.
Like, you notice,
Ways.
like, as you start spending more time with him, you notice horrible burn marks around his face, just around the edges of the helmet.
That's probably fine. Yeah.
But you guys do set off from Kresk anyway on that
Oh,
front.
this crazy guy goes with us. All right, cool.
Yeah.
He's just behind us the whole time, screaming.
Sally
Kill some
forth.
fucking things.
yeah. But he
So
seems
forth
he
the
seems to
stealth
follow
part.
languidly off in the right direction on that one. But
What's your name? Do you
I
have
am
a
the
name?
conductor of the slaughter train!
Okay, conductor. Can you be quiet,
Let's call him Connie for short. I like that better.
Connie?
You can't stop what I say.
I'm not trying to stop you, but
We're trying to make it
trying to
a
sneak
We're trying to
smidge-
postpone what you say.
smidge quieter, actually. If you can just.
Maybe if I cast Greater Restoration on him.
A little quieter.
You'll see on the back of your character, there's actually two dials called gain and volume. You want to turn both those right now.
oh, he wasn't around for the callback. I love it.
Oh, that's great, Shizu.
We had a problem with James's mic earlier. and
Yeah,
we were going
it
through
was.
the game volume.
It sounded more like. We should have given it to Lewis for his guy.
Yeah.
If I stay quiet, will we go soon? Will we soon be going forth?
We will.
You
We'll be
will
going there.
absolutely be going
Kill
soon
some
for-
demons, just for
Yes.
you.
If
My
you're
blood
quiet,
is tingling.
if you're quiet, then we have a better chance of hurting the devils and demons more.
There'll be an entire room of devils and demons just for you.
One-way ticket to the blender.
That's not a thing that's been invented, but okay.
But
It's-
just
So he kind of shuts up, but he's still like occasionally just lightly hitting his helmet with his axe.
Like you got like
Clang. Clang.
like Tourette sort of stuff. Like you're trying to stop, but every now and then you sort of do something.
Goliath
Yeah, like
Tourette's.
jittering, like I'm physically spasming. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
well, this guy wants to fight, so
Did
this
anyone
is-
pick up Greater Restoration in the meantime?
No, I
yeah,
did look at it.
unfortunately, I did not.
That makes me so happy because I was thinking they might just cast that on me.
It just fix you.
And I got
Why
rid
isn't
of
the
remove
abbot
curse as well.
tried it yet?
yeah, I don't
Oh,
think he's
yeah.
got greater restoration. Oh, that's a very good question.
No, he doesn't. I don't think.
He doesn't now.
No,
Yeah.
we couldn't find any diamonds.
Well played.
That's the problem.
Maybe I've only been here for like 10 minutes.
yeah,
I
just
literally
literally
came,
just
seconds
walked
before
in.
These guys did, and went into a room and just. Maybe I was like covered in demon blood or something. And then
Yeah,
it's like,
I think the abbot nursed you back to health a bit here. So you've been here a little while, but not.
I
not
decided
too
not to cast Greater Restoration on you.
Because it was more fun.
Just wanted more RP out of it. But yeah, so you guys you start trekking south anyway. So obviously as before, it starts to get colder and colder. After about a day and a half, 2 days, you're starting to get towards the Selenka Pass again.